Hey y'all, we are back with a quick one. This one won't be super long, but I wanted to discuss this. We're going to go to church for a minute. Y'all know how much I love these pastors that say it all with their whole chest, unapologetically to their communities, and then seem to attempt to backtrack. But we're going to get going and to discuss this. Hey y'all, we're back for a quick one. I'm sure some of you guys have heard about this already. This is Reverend Bobby Leonard from Monroe, North Carolina. For those of you that aren't aware of what he has been in the news for recently, you're about to find out. Trigger warning, because what he says is absolutely disgusting. Pretty typical. Sadly, pretty typical. But let's go ahead and hear what he has to say.
I told my wife that this is the kind of preaching we need. I told my wife, I said, Mama, when we go to Pigeon Forge, to the outlet malls, when you go uptown here, we'll go up to sit at the parking lot at the outlet mall, the mall here. I said, you watch it. I said, count them. You'll find more women going to have shorts on than you will with pants and dresses put together. So I sat there. I just want to be sure, but I sat there some time ago for, I don't know who's out in the, I guess it must have been some of the family. My wife don't go that shopping now. And I sat there in my car. I thought, I want to see if that's right. And I counted. Try that. You'll find more women go in those places with shorts than you will women with pants and dresses put together.
The volume's all the way up. Sorry, it's pretty low on this end too. It's as loud as it gets though. Sorry about that. It might be better with AirPods in. I'll play a news clip that repeats some of this.
Try it. If you got time, try it. Have your boy go up there and try it. Just watch for it. Have your girl go up there and watch for it. And you know, I used to say this. I haven't said this in a long time. You ready? I said, if you dress like that and you get raped and I'm on the jury, he's going to go free. You don't like, do you? I'm right, though. I can't help you don't like it. I'm right. Because, a man's a man. A man's a man.
A man's a man.
When I was a boy, 80 years ago, I was raised in Martinsville, Virginia, partly in Moxfield, North Carolina. Listen, I don't even remember women wearing anything but dresses back then. Well, anyway, I don't want you to go home depressed tonight. I'd rather go home encouraged, but I want you to go home wanting to serve God. But it seems that it seems like we've paid no attention to God. Isn't that right? And the Bible says sometimes that people think God has delayed his coming.
So there's the first clip of Reverend Bobby Leonard that we're going to show. You heard what he had to say. Pretty unapologetic, continues to say he's right. He's kind of says it all with his chest. Not really apologetic whatsoever. Here's another news article. This was from a couple days ago. North Carolina pastor faces backlash after blaming rape victims for their attire. I'm going to play this clip here now. This is from February 26th from Fox. So, yes, I went to Fox for all my Fox-loving friends. All right, let's hear what he has to say, what this clip says.
You can't stand there, teach the word of God, and claim that you believe it's okay for people to go around raping people for what they wear.
Protests over a local pastor's controversial comments during a sermon. And tonight there are calls for that pastor to resign, quit, or apologize for what he said.
In a video clip, Jamie, which went viral online, the pastor speaks from the pulpit about the clothes women wear and that leading to sexual assault. Take a listen.
You find more women go in those places with shorts. I said, if you dress like that and you get raped and I'm on the jury, he's going to go free.
Yeah, so you heard that right. Bible Baptist Tabernacle pastor Bobby Leonard said that too many women are wearing shorts and that if someone raped them, he would not find the rapist guilty in court. Our Jason Puckett's been following the story. He joins us now live outside the church in Monroe. These comments, Jason, stunning many.
Yeah, Molly and Jamie had a lot of folks wanting answers. We came out here earlier. The folks here at Bible Baptist Tabernacle didn't want to do an interview with us. The only response from them so far on the sign out front saying, quote, "I am sorry for any hurt. I was wrong." Clips of the Bible Baptist Tabernacle service have been going viral across the state and country, with millions of viewers watching Pastor Bobby Leonard say this.
You find more women go in those places with shorts. I said, if you dress like that and you get raped and I'm on the jury, he's going to go free. I can't.
No, Rita, you are correct. This is unfortunately very common in some of these smaller congregations. I've heard it myself. I've sat in congregations and listened to sermons similar to this, but it is unacceptable and needs to be addressed because this is absolutely disgusting. And it is becoming very common for pastors to say things like this, or reverends, or whatever you want to call them, and with their whole chest unapologetically, and then expect no backlash. But he's getting the attention he wants.
If you're like, I'm right. Because, a man's a man.
We don't let people stand around in Union County in the pulpits and say something like this. That is wrong.
That's Jason King live streaming as he protested the church Wednesday night. He was working Thursday, but told us on the phone that he believes the pastor should publicly, verbally apologize.
And you can't stand there and teach the word of God and claim that you believe it's okay for people to go around raping people for what they wear.
King isn't alone. There are hundreds of comments and posts online calling Pastor Leonard's words disgusting, disgraceful, and more. One of the most shared posts with more than 2 million views from Julie Royce.
I was just shocked when I first saw it. I mean, I just couldn't believe that any pastor would actually think these things, let alone say them out loud in a sermon.
Royce calls herself a Christian investigative journalist and has seen lots of videos like this.
I mean, the people in the pews really are the victims of messages like this. I mean, they're trusting their pastor to be telling them the truth and to be giving them information that's biblical. And this is such a dangerous message.
Royce says Pastor Leonard's message can make men think they're not responsible for controlling themselves.
Consider this situation and what we've been recently discussing. Think of this in comparison to what has happened to people like Amethyst. And people like this out here spreading the message that if you wear XYZ and if he's on the jury, then you're walking free. And you see what a problem religion is causing. Again, who you believe in, what you pray to, totally your choice between you and whoever it is. But this is the wrong message to give. Period, point blank, end of story. There is no argument here that is even remotely acceptable. Not at all. Sorry, never. Right, Lurker? Right? This is why I can't believe more people aren't talking about this.
For women in the
I have seen a lot on TikTok, but this bothers me so bad. This is why people refuse to talk about religion, though, and politics and policy and laws. When in reality, this has no place whatsoever. his belief system doesn't condone rape. I'm sorry. And if it does, he's a sick fuck, in my opinion.
The congregation, it can be even more harmful.
They've listened to these messages and been taught that they're to blame if somebody rapes them, if they get sexually assaulted. Oh, you must have had a skirt that was too short. You must have been wearing shorts. It's telling the woman it's her fault. It's how she dresses. And I just think it needs to be countered.
You know how many times I have actually heard this similar speaking in congregations and churches by elderly men? You know how dangerous this mindset actually is for victims of rape? All of it is purely disgusting.
Now, Jason King, who you saw there on the protest last night, he is planning to be back out here Sunday morning. He said it's nice to see the apology on the sign out front of the church, but again, he's calling for a public apology or response from the pastor out here as well. For now, here live in Monroe, I'm Jason Puckett, WBTV, on your side.
And online, he is not the only one calling for that public apology. Jason, will be interesting to see what happens Sunday.
I think they should be calling for his resignation, personally. Thank you so much, Rita. I appreciate the gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Anyways, I just wanted to highlight this because it's absolutely disturbing to me. Like, this is another situation that is just utterly disgusting, and it's happening so often. So often people like this are given platforms to say some of the most egregious, dangerous BS, and they wrap it up as the word of God and spew this type of narrative, and it hurts so many. Continually hurts so many. He should not even have a church to give this message in at this point, in my opinion. I'm glad that there are people that are protesting. I'm glad that there were people calling for resignation. His apology on a sign out front, it was probably written by one of the people of the church underneath him. Yeah, Woodrake, that brings up a great conversation into the Senate bill in Texas that they're trying to put, clergy members in schools. Yeah. Yep. Uh-oh, you got an ad? These aren't even, my monetization isn't even on, like, on the video part. So there's two different pieces of this, but they're not even on. That's weird, Sheila. I don't know why you're getting ads. Thank you, Cash. I'll make sure she knows. Thank you so much. And thank you again, Rita, for the gifted memberships. I got to do that again at the beginning of the month. But anyways, I wanted to bring this to attention because I think this is disturbing, and I wish more people would talk about things like this. But I get that religion, politics, and conversations like this is really hard for so many to wrap their heads around or get involved in because it's a very touchy subject. However, this has no place in any church. I don't care what your belief systems are. Where does this help anybody? This isn't even necessary. This is disgusting. Oh, greenworm. Oh my goodness. I could go on and on about that. I could go on about the patriarchy. Yeah, terrible. And I'm glad that you left the church that did that, because there's no place in society for this type of behavior. Just none. Period. Point blank. End of story. There's nothing acceptable about this type of behavior. And an apology, he said it proudly with his own chest many times, confirming that he was right. He was right. He has no apologetics in this. The people apologizing for him are trying to do PR. That's it. That's all. There's no apology here. Cash, we could you guys could just yap. Yes, the fall of patriarchy. There's actually a creator on TikTok that I follow, and she talks about patriarchy and the curated YouTube, Instagram, TikTok accounts, and how they are trying to, it's lifestyle influencers who are influencing this lifestyle of having numerous kids, against birth control, these farmsteading lives, all of this type of narrative. It's really interesting though how she breaks it down, and she's very good at it. Very, very good. Anybody have any questions about this? Absolutely, Revival. I'm with you on that. There's nothing really more to say about this. Like, I could go on and on about it, but you heard what he had to say. An apology is empty air at this point. Right? Woodrake, and considering that's a small town too, and how many people sitting in that church have probably sat on panels or juries for rape victims and hearing that type of message being preached. How many of those victims didn't get justice because of people like him influencing other people in the town? That's the crazy thing. Oh, you're good, accounting by day. You're good. It's just complete empty air. Yep. It's sad, but here again, Woodrake, we talk about the Catholic Church and all the cover-ups they've done about the sexual abuse, the Mormon Church, same thing. They change laws to cover their asses. They will change laws. What do you think, Cash? Spandex shorts. It's warm out here. I actually was talking to Revival on the phone. I talked to a couple of you on the phone in between. And then I planted my tomato plant during it. Yeah, the whole thing of the dresses, what the hell is that? I'm sorry, if you're raped, it has nothing to do with what you're wearing. It has all to do with somebody that is a sick monster, period. It's a small town. The town I live near won't even let bars in this township, dry counties. Doesn't surprise me. Still no place in it. I grew up in the Bible Belt. Still no place in it. I've been in some of the most egregious Pentecostal churches. Let me just say, I grew up and accustomed to. I have a lot of religious trauma from watching people convulse and fall on the floor engulfed in the Holy Spirit, which is a bunch of bullshit. Most of it is complete and utter bullshit, all for attention. And then say shit like this with their full chest unapologetically. Yep. A man's a man. If a man rapes you, it's because the man is a rapist, not because of what you're wearing. Let's make that very clear. Same with women. If a woman rapes you, it is the same thing. It's because they're a monster that has done horrible things. Oh, yeah. 71. Yeah, that unfortunately, that's crazy. It happens in so many areas. That's like Utah and their alcohol laws and stuff. They have one of the highest rates of porn addiction and assaults still. You can see what's coming out of Utah over and over and over again. Oh my God, Britt, that doesn't shock me. Honestly, I hate that for you. And it's so incredibly disgusting. And I'm sorry that you experienced that, because that is absolutely nothing in your control. And it's definitely not a fucking demon. But I've been held down and prayed for and oil anointed in the rooms of where I stayed to cast out the demons. And my medical issues are all demonic possessions. And if I would pray for XYZ, I've been there too. And it's so fucked up. So fucked up. Absolutely, wishful thinking. Please do. Please cover anything you want. Absolutely, accounting by day. The Jodie Foster, Cash, that's a good. Yeah, wasn't she like 10? Was she 10? Or am I thinking someone else? I might be thinking someone else. Yeah, yes. Yep. That happens so freaking often. You're spot on with that. In so many little towns, like the dangers of this type of behavior let me just put it out here blatantly, because y'all know how I love to say things with my whole chest and I'm unapologetic for it. But if we're even considering voting for an orange Jesus who fucking sexually assaulted a woman, if we're even at the point of considering being okay and chalking that up to how are people processing that this man is guilty of sexual assault? The only reason why he wasn't charged and criminal court is because of the statute of limitations, which shouldn't even exist. But how are people even thinking about voting for a man who openly, we know, sexually assaulted somebody? At least one, potentially many more. And I'm talking on any end of it. I don't give a shit if they're running for Senate. I don't give a shit if they're running for president. I don't give a shit. How are people reconciling this in their head that that's okay? We stand firmly for victims. We stand firmly against sexual assault, but people are okay with voting for somebody who has sexually assaulted somebody. Can anybody make this make sense to me? And then you have pastors out here pushing this propaganda. Fucking Orange Jesus can't even, the whole Bible shit lately that's been going on, and God gave us Orange Jesus, you know, and since when do we worship politicians and sick fucking reverends like this who say this type of shit? When is this, how is this happening in this country, in this world? How is this even? It is the weirdest thing to watch people idolize a fucking president that has sexually assaulted somebody. It is fucking odd to watch people worship a fake hero who has created trafficking situations for a reality TV show and re-victimized and victimized so many people who wanted to run for president, who wanted to be the next president of the Mormon church, a prophet. How are you people reconciling this and okay with it? You know, let me be frank, and I don't care if I offend you. If you can sit here and openly tell me that you can get down with that or make excuses for this behavior, you should probably look a little bit deeper, because what if that was your child that was sexually assaulted by this person? What if that was your spouse that was sexually assaulted by her coworker? Would you think that it was okay for them to be worshiped? By the way, I have an owie. I just attempted to cut my finger off. It's all good. I got it a lot done between the two ones, but I know people will notice this. I just can't reconcile this shit anymore. I can't. And especially like going through what we're seeing with Amethyst right now, we're seeing how the wheels of justice turn backwards. We're seeing such injustice happening right before our eyes all day long with what is happening to her and this offender getting out and how many victims he's had and all this other stuff. Like how, oh, fuck, that guy should have been removed. He should absolutely been impeached. I don't even know if they can be impeached, to be honest. Supreme Court, usually I think they have to die to. But he should have recused himself. His wife was involved in the January 6th insurrection. Like, I don't even know how we are at this point. Like, I can't. I sit and listen to this shit. Matt Gaetz is up against all sorts of shit right now, too. Like, I cannot reconcile this shit. He's not going to, Sheila. I don't think he will because, in my opinion, here's my opinion after watching CPAC. Sorry, now I'm on a tirade, but after watching CPAC, he has no intention of dropping out and he wants all the money. And why he's doing this is because it's a delay tactic of all of the court cases that he has on. This is unprecedented. It is. Let me be clear. If this was a normal human being, the way he should be treated, any other Joe Smo, if this was a single one of you and you had 91 felonies that were all coming to court at the same time, your ass would have already been in jail. You would have already been sitting in jail. You wouldn't be doing this whole running campaign thing. None of that wouldn't be happening. The fact that he is able to maneuver and all this stuff, this whole campaign thing is a whole smoke and mirrors. It is because they're hopeful to get him in office so he can give himself immunity. His vice president, whoever he announces as his vice president pick, will be a shrew in that somebody will relieve him of all of the legal wrongdoings that he's done, give him complete immunity. And that's where we're headed. That's what they want. And that's why they're doing this whole World War III thing. This is why they're doing the fear mongering with the fucking Project 2025 shit. It is all, I'm sorry, right now, Mitt Romney would have my vote over anybody else. And that is, it's all just posturing. It's all posturing, but he has to keep this. This is why his daughter-in-law has been announced the RNC chair, and I'm so proud of Nikki Haley. I'm not a huge fan of hers. I mean, granted, compared to what that is, I'm a huge fan, but I'm proud of her for not backing down. I'm super proud of her for not backing down. I know, Sheila, I am too. I am too. Protesting. I don't even want to see. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Well, true, Tracy. That is true. I'm just saying, in the political sphere of Republicans, that's where my brain was at, not overall. That's not what I was saying. So hopefully you understood that. Right? Accounting by day. Yeah. Romney absolutely is against a lot of stuff that I stand for sure. But at the same time, at least he's willing to call him a sexual predator. He will say that out loud, and he's not supportive of a lot of the shit that's going on. Granted, I don't like a lot of the stuff that no, you didn't lose me. You didn't lose me. I'm just talking about it in the Republican candidacy thing. Chris Christie, like, give me anybody basically, and I will have more hope in them than what I have now. And I'm so sick of this whole, and I'm super glad though, CPAC was very good about announcing themselves as, we are not the old school conservatives. We're the new party, like MAGA for life. Fuck out of here. Like, ooh. Well, yeah, he's Mormon. Yeah. Whoops, I fixed my cult button. I fixed my cult button just for this, because so many other people are in cults. I mean, come on now. Trump's being funded by Scientologists. Like, what is happening? Hold on, let me transfer this over here. I fixed my cult button because it was too specific to certain ones. Let me change it up. Let me change it up, and then I'll play it for you guys. Ironically, it's 18 seconds. It really is too. Hold on. Shit's just getting out of hand. Like, I have lost all faith in so many people. I mean, not that I had a whole lot of faith in a lot of people to begin with, but it's definitely becoming more apparent how ridiculous shit's getting. It's getting so out of hand. It's so out of hand. Hey, Shap. Oh, no. Yeah, right, Tracy? No, I knew you weren't talking to me. Even if you said no shit Sherlock to me, I'd be okay with it. I say that all the time. CPAC was, I watched for 2 hours, y'all, pacing back and forth. Kyle was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not okay. I'm not okay at all." And I went to Right Side News Broadcasting just because I wanted to try and like gain some understanding of where their thought processes are. They were so pissed. There was a guy that was like arguing with me in the comment section, and I was being really nice. I wasn't even being like over the top. I was talking about Ballard. And as soon as I started bringing up the sexual assault, though, then the story got changed. Like the circular talk, that's all that I could get. And I would be like, stay on focus. Let's talk about what we're talking about. Why'd you just change the subject? Stay on focus. And then I completely lost him within 5 seconds. It was pretty ridiculous. But anyways, here's the new cult button.
Whoops, you're in a cult. 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 Giving grandma COVID, and whoops, you're in a cult.
For all my MAGA buddies, whoops, you're in a cult. Sorry, but it is what it is. Tracy, I dropped about through my phone a few different times. I really did. Oh, shop. Let's just say. And I'm in Arizona, so we have the wonderful Carrie Lake too. For those of you that don't know who Carrie Lake is all I have to say about her at this point in time, because what a fucking train wreck. What a train wreck. Anyways, okay, this turned out longer than I wanted it to be, but oh yes, Hassan. Yeah. It is a cult. It's a cult. It is a cult. It's revival. I'm okay, before I get out of here, here's my one thing. If you are voting for or intend on voting for Orange Jesus and he doesn't make it into the White House, what's the next plan? Like everybody's putting all their eggs in that basket that he's going to do something for them. Like I can't understand that concept, but what if that fails? What's your plan B? Because I know that you want him in the office in a complete dictatorship. That's what they're pushing for. Project 2025 says it with its whole chest. I mean, it is what it is. But what if that doesn't come to reality? Then what are we up against? What's their plan? Are they going to have another insurrection? What's plan B? Because they've sailed all of their hope right down the river with that one. Like anybody can anybody that supports that answer me? Like, what's your next Betty, where the fuck are you? I need some MAGA intelligence. What are they going to do? Bunkers. Shit. That's already been happening. I don't know. I'm just scared because it's like they're so stuck on this, like, that's all they can see. I have seen so many people that say that Trump is a godsend, and I'm like, the God I choose to believe in would not condone that stuff. That's also probably why, like, God is allowing the fact that he's facing 91. I don't know. Like, I can't reconcile that in my head that he's a godsend. Like, I just can't. Yeah, they do, Tracy. They do. Yeah, Greenworm, I haven't found that God yet. I'm wondering if they were Raelians. They might have been Raelians and believed in aliens, maybe. Kyle probably did it. Yeah. I wish somebody could answer that. January 6th was their practice run. I hope not. But I'm starting to think that that's very likely because they've sold all of their hope into this one thing. Like they can't even come to an agreement on who he should select as vice president. And most of them are just trying to get somebody that will completely grant him immunity and take over. Like it's so weird. It's just the weirdest. It's the weirdest time to be alive, to be honest, to like see this play out in real time in the government. It's scary. Counting by day, yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised JLR has not attempted to sue President Trump yet. I'm assuming that if he doesn't win, JLR will probably sue him because he wasted so much time fear-mongering everybody over Trump's BS. So I'm waiting for JLR to sue the MAGA bunch and Trump. Brit, right? Yeah, shop. Yep. Yeah, it was an insurrection. He encouraged it. Oh, Karine. Yeah, no. What he said was horrifying. Horrifying. It's scary. It's getting scary, truthfully. Like, I can't even imagine. DeSantis is a nut job. DeSantis is a nut job. He has to finish with Unirock first. I shouldn't laugh, but what the fuck is happening? I can't even understand this shit. Ugh. It is very scary. It's very scary. Yeah, I don't know. It's a scary time. I don't know. That's a good reminder. Vote. Vote. Know what you're voting for. DeSantis and Abbott are two of my disgusting. Of course, up there on that list of Senator Mike Lee from Utah, Attorney Sean Reyes from Utah. Oh, you want a good shit show? Go watch Eric Moutsos from Utah, who disavowed Ballard, but is now bitching and moaning because Cox offered a nice gesture to Biden and they treated him decently. Crazy shit. But that guy's nutty. Eric is nutty. Accounting, I know you're good. You're very informed. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. I wanted to keep this short and sweet, but I just can't even understand where this reasoning is coming from about the stuff that's being said in congregations and accepted. I can't understand it. I'll never understand it. This is so harmful to victims. This is such a slap in the face for his entire congregation. Like, how gross. Yeah, we are in a scary time. Yeah, we'll see what happens between now and then, Tracy, too. I don't know what's going to happen. They're both so old that anything could happen at this point. November's a long ways away. I don't know. It's getting crazier and crazier, though. All right, y'all. I will see you guys later. We got to talk about Ballard, and we got to talk about the victims and the setup in Colombia. That's a whole lot, but we're going to be reviewing some of Pedro's own words and then reviewing Pedro's statements that he actually gave that are in the court documents. So if I have time tonight, I might do that. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow and we'll do that. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. This could last hours. I know, Cash. I keep saying I'm getting off here. Tracy, if I have time tonight, I'll do it tonight. My girls should be home anytime now. Well, in the next 30 minutes. And then if they're busy and occupied, I'll probably do it tonight. If not, it'll be tomorrow. So I will schedule it and try to give you guys advance notice, though, because that'll be interesting. The whole Pedro situation and what he said on live stream. No, you're not blocked, Hippie Emporium. I can see you. Okie dokie, artichoke. Why'd you think you were blocked? Somebody else said something about comment sections that they were having a hard time seeing them or something. I can see you. And I'm just on the StreamYard side. What message? Hippie Emporium, did you try to type something that didn't come through? I'm going back up. I don't see any comments from you previously. Oh, you just wrote a longer message and it didn't go through. Was there, I don't know why that would have happened. I didn't see anything over here. Do you want to retype it? I'll wait for a minute and see if it comes through. I'm sorry that happened. I don't know why that does that sometimes. I don't have the monitor stuff on either. They just come through. I don't have to prove. Look up the 7 mountains. The 7 heads are 7 mountains. The 7 areas of the movement believe influence society, that they seek to influence our family, religion, education, media, entertainment, business, and government. Yeah. But family, religion, government, business, education, arts, entertainment, and media. That's true. The 7 mountain mandate. I was wondering whether I should view Christianity not as misguided, but as a threat to me and my family, and I actively fit it. I saw this message pop up on a group chat. The Seven Mountain Mandate. The Seven Mountain Mandate, or Seven Mountain Prophecy, is a strategy for cultural engagement popularized by Lance Wallnau and Bill Johnson in their 2013 book, Invading Babylon. Since its advent, the perspective has gained popularity, especially among charismatic and Pentecostal Christians. Don't I know that? Proponents of the 7M Mandate call on Christians to retake 7 spheres or mountains or of cultural influence: religion, family, government, education, media, arts, entertainment, and business. Yeah. And that's absolutely from the Pentecostal. Yeah. Hippie Emporium. That would be a great discussion because people don't even realize that that's real. On one level, the spheres of influence the 7M Mandate describes are a good summary of institutions that shape our culture. Anyone with strong convictions, whether conservative, liberal, Muslim, Jewish, or secular, naturally wants his values to be adopted and heralded on all 7 mountains. A Buddhist, for example, believes schools operate best when following Buddhist principles. Whatever your deepest convictions, it's natural to think that they're only good for you, but they're not only good for you, but good for everyone. But the 7M Mandates goes further. And the devil is in the details. Their perspective is ultimately built on a dual misunderstanding of Scripture and Christ's purposes in the world. The 7 Mountain Mandate is ultimately built on a dual misunderstanding of Scripture and Christ's purposes in the world. Advocates of the 7M Mandate find their biblical warrant for retaking the culture in Revelation 17, 8 through 10, a passage that describes a scarlet beast with 7 heads, which Sean says are 7 mountains. The passage was intended as a picture of the spiritual battle waged through all history until Christ returns. It was intended to give Christians hope in their suffering and cultural loss. The 7 mountains likely refer to the 7 hills in the ancient Rome. When John wrote, the Roman government opposed Christ and his ways. However, one understands the beasts, prostitute, kings, and mountains in this passage, and the conquering warrior is always the crucified Christ, not a sword-swinging church. Misplaced hope. Even if you've never heard of the 7M Mandate, it can still be tempting to think Christ's kingdom grows by winning cultural power and influence. If this is where we place our hope, it'll be hard to stomach the losses. Evangelicals increasingly run the risk of being seen as sore losers in the cultural war. Our inability to let go, to relinquish positions of public prominence and power, reveals a misplaced faith. Too often, we're entangled in Jesus' name with political agenda, as mainline Christians did when they made the church into little more than a social club for liberal activism. I put in my friend to Jesus's words to Pilate, "My kingdom is not of this world," John 18:36. I told him that at his arrest, Jesus rebuked Peter for striking with a sword. That led to fruitful conversation, but it also led me to ask, what does faithful witness look like as evangelicals lose the culture? This is spot on. Hippie Emporium, thank you for bringing this up. This is spot on. Jesus, what I'm reading from, so you guys know, is thegospelcoalition.org, just so you guys know what I'm reading from. I'm telling you, the Pentecostal movement, and that's where my trauma comes from. Extreme Pentecostal religion. That's kind of coupled with followers of Christ beliefs. Very extreme. Medical, not needed, prayed away, camps to pray the gay away. That's where my upbringing comes from. All right, let me read this last one. Better way. Jesus tells his followers to take up their crosses, not their crowns. Historically, the church has thrived during some of its bleakest winters of cultural power. We can see modern examples of this in Iran and China. Though our faith may be increasingly marginalized and devalued in the West, losing cultural battles with grace, dignity, and love can pervasively display Christ's cruciform beauty. Conversely, there is nothing persuasive about chasing the perks of power. Peter wrote his first letter to Christians facing intense persecution. This actually makes me sick reading this. That doesn't mean Christian political savvy is thrown aside while we lie down and float away with the cultural tide. It does mean American evangelicals have a golden opportunity, even in years when it seems the sun is setting on our influence, to prove our hope is vested beyond the material and visible. We can chart for the next generation a trail of faithfulness that avoids bitter and reclusive cultural withdrawal on one hand and vengeful, scorched earth behavior on the other. This is Accounting by Day. Are you here? This is a conversation I know me and you will be having later. Losing well has to do with attitude. We soften our tone, but not our convictions. We pursue what is excellent and praiseworthy because we care about what is good, not because we're always right and have to win. We find ways like Daniel to bless people in institutions that are riddled with problems. As faithful evangelicals, we advocate for God's way and encourage our neighbors to follow them while leaving the results to God. We may not ascend to the 7 mountains of cultural influence, but as we continue to promote our values, we can remember that one of our cardinal virtues is love. Jesus suffered for us when we were still his enemies. For his sake, let's love our enemies with grace, even if we suffer because of them. Ugh. Woo hoo hoo. Oh, hippie, I like Owen. I like Owen a lot. Richard Lewis. I don't know if I knew who that is. Yeah, I like Owen. I should play some Owen stuff, actually. Owen's great. Owen is very good, in my opinion. He does a great job. There's some great channels out there that do a really good job. Greg Locke. Interesting. Hippie Emporium, thank you so much for bringing that up during this, because that fits into all of this. Like, it is so apparent. And that's why they continue to say it's a cultural war. If you listen to any of CPAC at all, you would have heard that over and over again. It's a cultural war. It's a cultural war. We're losing a cultural war. That's where this comes from. And then they ask Orange Jesus to quote Bible scripture, and he's like, Mommy, woo, mommy, woo. Ah, fuck. I don't know why he does that shit. And the accordion hands. I can't. Anyways. All right, y'all. Thank you so much, Hippie Emporium. That was perfect timing to close this out. Maybe I'll do a whole segment. Maybe I'll educate myself more on that whole philosophy, because that's so important to bring up right now too. Yes, I will absolutely, Tracy. I will link that in the description right now. I'm going to copy that. And I encourage you, this is from the Gospel Coalition, so I'll just include the one I read, but look further outside of that because it's very important. But thank you guys. I just need to say once again, thank you guys all for embracing these topics. These are hard discussions. These are things that we're, like I say all the time, that we're told not to talk about, that offend people. It's time we offend people, because the truth needs to be talked about, because it's harming victims. It's harming society as a whole. Religion, people like this guy, that Bobby Leonard, that are putting off these type of sermons are dangerous. Electing officials who are sexual assaulters is dangerous. Like, where are we at in society that this is okay? And I'm so appreciative to those of you that continue to be here for these conversations and continue to be okay with these conversations and understanding why it's so important. Like, I didn't ever intend on talking about politics on this channel. Most of you know that was something I never. Kyle was the one that was huge into the politics, and really, like, I paid attention, but to what I needed to pay attention to. But seeing how it all connects, like everything, I can connect Amethyst's story to OUR. I can connect OUR to Betty, who promoted that shit. I can connect OUR to Scientology, like all of it, the corruption, the religion, the politics, the wealthy, the reform that needs to be happened in victims. Like, at the end of it, they are creating so many victims and re-victimizing victims over and over again. And by the way, Accounting by Day, you and Revival were on the exact same wavelength earlier with Katie Porter. I'm going to start taking Katie Porter and stuff, because I think that might be a good win. Katie Porter, we might have hope with. So I will talk to you guys all later. I'm going to go get off here right quick, because Littles should be here. Yeah, Tracy, they won't though. They won't. They rage quit. That's what, or they change the subject. I love Katie Porter. And she's from, yeah, you would, accounting by day. You two would be besties. That is for sure. For sure. Brittany, it's okay. She said bestie, not second wife. You still get your second wife position if you're here. All right, y'all. I will see you guys later. Thanks for joining me, though. And thank you guys for being here for these conversations and understanding my heart and knowing that, like, most of you understand. I have somebody in the comments right now, too, that is like poking at me and telling me we all need Jesus. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my comments. Like, people like that just piss me off. Like, you want to piss me off, come at me with telling me I need Jesus. The conversation's over before it even begins. Like, right there, like, full stop. In fact, let me read you a couple of them before we leave, because it is entertaining now that I think about it. And I haven't read any of this one. Hold on. I'm sure it's a Betty stan. I'm almost positive it is, but I've been kind of having a little fun with them. Chasing Stardust is the name of the account. And they are commenting on my Bullhorn Betty video. Counting by day. Okay, so this is the first comment they said. Where have you traveled to? What cases have you been boots on the ground with? Bitch, I'm not true crime, first of all. And I've been involved in a lot of cases, unfortunately. Okay. Cash, you called it, okay? This is your fault. You made this happen. It's an hour-long goodbye. It's easy to sit home and talk trash about others. Yeah, it is. It truly can't going well for you being successful by talking about others. Actually, this fulfills me so much. Talking about important topics absolutely fulfills me. It's my passion. It's not just about Betty. Betty is one of many, but okay. But it's not about being successful. It's about being truthful. And all your followers, so much hatred when it doesn't even affect them. You all need religion in your lives. I said, yikes, you definitely don't belong here telling anyone they need religion in their lives. Have a blessed day with my kissy faces. If you ever see me saying have a blessed day, you know that I'm done with the conversation. Then she comes back. All of your followers cannot consider themselves religious. People that are religious do not condone hateful comments like the ones here. I said, ma'am or sir, no one respectfully gives a fuck about who you pray to or what you believe. What we don't like is gaslighting liars who will use circle logic to condone being an asshole and harming victims. If you have more to say it to you. Say it to your God or whatever you believe in, because I'm done listening to you, to the smoke you're attempting to blow up my ass. Have a wonderful day. They came back and said, you are the only one that has to go to bed at night with your conscience. No shit, Sherlock. Ask yourself, did I do enough? Did I help anyone? Did I do the right thing? Is my channel helpful? Am I positively impacting my viewers? Bitch. Memo. Sit down for this Chasing Stardust. Sit down. I'm helping victims a lot more than you, because we actually talk about the issues that continues to keep affecting victims and their voices and their stories. But continue to go simp for Betty, because making you look real good telling us all we need religion. Like, what the fuck? But if you ever want to like have a conversation with me, don't ever tell me I need God in my life. I tried that. That didn't work for me. I've been there, done that. Probably been to church more than any of them condemning me. And it's just not a good look. Okay. It's not cute. You lose the conversation when you start that type of shit. It's just ridiculous. But anyways. Right? Right? Accounting by day. We tried that. We wore those shoes for a while. No thanks. You can have them back. We don't want no returns. We're good. Anyways, with that said, I just figured I'd give you guys a laugh because honestly, I leave those comments because they're comical to me. I don't give a shit, but just come at me with some sort of argument, especially on my Betty videos. Like they purposely skip all the other videos where we're talking about victims and their story and like giving victims a platform. They purposely like skip all of that to go to Betty video. And they're like, oh my God, she doesn't like Betty. I don't like many people. I'm an equal opportunity hater. Okay. It is what it is. All right. Now I'm out. Bye, y'all.